Hi, Adam Bazalgette here, founder of SW Golf Academy. Today's subject's a good one, left knee in the golf swing. Of course, that's right knee for the left-handed player, the target knee. And the role of the left knee and what move you should copy. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit about how it works, both backswing and downswing, but also don't just copy the pros, customize it so it works properly for you and your body. We'll get into that. Very briefly, if you're new to this channel, or perhaps you've watched the videos quite a bit before but have never subscribed, we really appreciate that. If you do that, also hit the little bell there, then you'll get notified every time another free video is coming your way. Well, the primary purpose of the legs in the golf swing, and I know we're talking about the left knee, is to give you support, give you balance, basically build a platform upon which you can use your core effectively. Then it's doing its job. So let's have a look at this left knee in the backswing. A lot of people, as I say, get a little confused about that. Then towards the end of the video, we're going to have a look and see its role in the downswing. If you use it properly, it can really help you be dynamic. So let's have a general look at the left knee here. That's Adam Scott. Jack Nicklaus on the right needs no introduction. Of course, he's younger there. Let's have a look at these two guys, see how similar it is. Now, they're hitting a driver here, but the same principles apply whether it's an iron or a driver. And they're not at all similar. I mean, Jack's club is actually, in that frame at least, not gone back quite as far as Adam's has, and yet he has way more left knee movement. So a couple of points you might make relative to Jack's turn. The knee has not passed the hip, and relative to Adam's significantly less turn again, the knee has not passed the left hip. So certainly that isn't happening. You don't see a change of balance in the spine or a tilt. It's athletic instinct, it's swing style, it's personal body style. That was just Jack's way, a huge, great big pivot, a lot of hip turn. So that's okay. Let's have a look at one other little feature I think you've noticed. Let's look at, say, Davis Love hitting an iron here down the line view. This is something else I think you'd want to see. If we plane the knee line, you will generally see with great players, not always, but generally, roughly a, let's get him right there, roughly a symmetrical sort of knee movement. That is to say, as much as the right knee has gone back, the left knee has popped out, give or take. And that is definitely something you're looking for. That's the sign of a good balanced pivot as well. Well, I can tell you from, let me say, bitter experiences, a lot of times in my younger golf life, I didn't like the way my knees moved, more my right knee than my left knee. But I got into something that I don't want you to get into, and that's basically chasing your tail, trying to make the knees do something they don't want to do and trying to force them into the position you think looks right. It doesn't need to be, it shouldn't be that way. It's got to be natural. By natural, again, I mean if your body moves properly, if you've got good balance at address, and if your legs are fairly passive, they will move more or less the correct way. So let's have a quick look at a pro again, then I'll give you a drill for this. Then we'll move towards the left knee in the downswing. So Justin Rose, both pictures, that's him a lot younger back when he worked with David Leadbetter in his early career, and that's him on the right there, more mid-career. So let's have a look. I've drawn a yellow line through his spine, and what's going to happen, he's going to pivot around that, which means his right side is going up and around him as his left side is coming down, and if you like, underneath the spine. As long as you pivot around the spine on that angle, your right hip will get taller, your right shoulder will get up in the air, but it will be matched by the left side going down, and you will, if you're in good balance at address and your legs are reasonably stable and supportive but not fixed, they will probably move just about right. Have a look from the over-the-camera view. This is not the view we trusted to most students back in the Leadbetter days because they'd smash the camera, but you can see it there, pivoting around the spine. That will create good knee action. So there's a few variations on this drill. I like the one club behind back. Now again, good posture is critical. We're not getting into that in depth here, but good posture and then pivoting, as we've said, perpendicular to the axis you start on. That will ensure that this hip and this side go up a little bit. It will pull this thigh back a little bit. And of course, correspondingly, the left hip will jut down and out. it will push the left knee out. But here's the thing, you've got to find what works for you in terms of the amount. So, hey, listen, let's go face on. If you're not very flexible, you might need more turn of your mid-back and your club in order to get some sort of full backswing. You are going to have your knees move a little more. Again, as long as that's reactive and it's not pushing past this hip, you're okay. If you're young and super flexible, hey, create a little bit of torque, not too tight, and start to map out where that left knee should go. Last comment before we move on to the downswing. If you take the time, most people don't, get away from the golf ball, relax and work things out, create a feel you know is right for you and your body, and just stick with that for a few weeks, you will save yourself a ton of time in the long run of fighting bad balance and trying to sort this out. So Grant Wade here, great ball striker off the PGA Tour from some years back. I love his swing, so we're going to have a go with him. He's a great example. So a couple of things the left knee does in the downswing. It moves, or should move, towards the target. Now I favor the knee being a little bit ahead of the hip, I should say, because it gives you a little stronger base. That's something I've struggled with a bit in my golf swing over the years. But it moves towards the target, and it also moves around, from the right-handed golfer's perspective here, to the left. And the idea is, once you've established this good position over here, from there you can really push your hips both up off the ground and really rotate them around, and that is a major thing for good ball striking. Now, it felt like a pretty good one. Hey, just very briefly, I hope you enjoy these free videos we bring you at Scratch Golf Academy. Another free product's going to help you, the Scratch Golf Academy app. Pick it up at the App Store. We've got tempo training, full swing, short game, green reading, instructional videos free to you. I hope you'll enjoy that and make it part of what you work on part of how you work on your golf. Okay, the downswing. As we've said, the main thrust here is if we can create some real energy up off the ground and around, it really helps with solid contact and power. That's what we're trying to accomplish. Let's just have another quick look at a pro here before we give you the drill. But I want to say this as a word of caution. Don't cheat yourself. One of the things the brain lurches to most is balance, whether that's in everyday life or hitting the golf ball or whatever it is. You start to lose your balance, it will override everything and try to correct that for you. So if you haven't preset the backswing and done a good job, if your body's swimming around and trying to sort itself out, you're probably not going to get this downswing. Let's have a look at the pro. So the man himself, Tiger Woods, let's have a look. Let's get him up near the top of his backswing. There's his belt buckle. Notice how much lower that has gotten in the early part of his downswing as this knee moves in the manner we've described. Definitely lowering the belt. Now watch the belt from there. Watch the belt buckle right here. Up it goes. Now you don't see the top of his head moving up, but then it goes up. And when you can push down, you can push up more effectively. And when you can push up, you can turn those hips faster and create more energy. Okay, best image, drill if you like, that I've come across, I think, for that sense of what the left knee and consequently left shoe should feel like coming down is this. If you're at the top of your backswing, I'm going midway back here. What would it feel like to you if you had an empty can under your left shoe and you had to squash it, completely crumple it into the ground? You wouldn't need tons of hip slide. You'd get a little bump of your weight for sure. Instinctively though, what would that feel like if you had to squash it? Here's a key as well. Don't just squash it with the heel of the foot. That you won't be able to push up there. You can push up off the ground hardest off the balls of your shoes. Picture jumping in the air. So your first move with that left knee is whatever it takes to squash the can and feel pressure shoot down into the ball of that left shoe. And it's against that we can push back and up with our hips, really start to create the dynamic look that we want. So here's a little drill. Got myself in the rough here. Give it an easier lie, you can use a tee. Start without the ball, squash, squash, push up like that. Let's try it again here, this time with the ball, midway back, squash, squash. I can really feel, frankly, more than I usually feel in my regular golf swing, how much energy and thrust I can create in my hips both around and up. And it really is the dynamic element to the golf swing. So the knee is part of it. Hey, you got to get away from the ball again. You've got to work through these things and start to get a feel for how that feels to you. Not all great players look exactly the same with their left knee throughout the golf swing, but you can customize this with for yourself. It'll really help you make good progress in your golf swing if you haven't had good lower body motion before.